All right, well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. I did send a reminder out to each of you this morning and wanted to, do two things. Review the ChapmanLoanProgram.org website to bring to your attention a variety of resources, which we'll go through, that could very much help you in running your branch. And then letting you know that our board of directors met last evening and decided that we'll begin offering branches that want what we'll call a replicated website of this tailored to you. That'll be available going forward. So what that would mean is it would be a very similar website, but all the information would tie back to you. So if someone fills this out, it goes to you, and so forth. But regardless, let's start by talking about the resources that are on the ChapmanLoanProgram.org website to make sure that you're familiar with tools and resources to help you have what we kind of call affectionately a business in a box. It's a turnkey approach whereby you don't have to go recreate the wheel. So at the high level, of course, what we do because of the grant is offer the startup business funding package. Well, why do we offer that? Because there's a whole lot of small businesses that want to need funding, but most of them are not fundable. They don't meet the underwriting criteria. So through the grant, we built the package, and it includes essentially what's necessary to have a fundable business. And so my goal today isn't to go through this bullet by bullet. We've done that many times before. If you're not familiar with the value proposition of the package, these different tools and resources we're discussing today would help you get up to speed. The way that we set it up on our landing page, and most likely if you have us set yours up, you'll probably want to keep it the same way. We like a two-step approach. The first step is we want an educated, if I can get that, we want an educated participant. Now, it's always better to talk to the participant than it is just to give them websites, links, recordings, documents. But for the page here and for your landing page, it does have the proposal which they can download. And so we provide each of you an editable proposal. So that way you can take our information off, of course, and put your information in. The proposal is just a more professional, technical presentation of what they're getting. But that's good to have. If you've not reviewed the proposal, you can come view it here. And we should have provided you an editable version of the proposal that you can use for your branch. So if you don't have that, be sure to email us and let us know. We need to correct that. Because the proposal, it's better than a flyer. It's just a more professional presentation of what they get. Now, we did make a change as of today after the board meeting last night, and we changed the video that is on the resource page. And if you have us build out your landing page, then most likely you'll want to use the same video. It'll just be edited with your information, not ours. So this here actually goes through the comparison sheet that we've talked about before. It walks them through it. So if you're not familiar with the comparison sheet, or you've not watched this training video that we did a couple weeks ago, it's now embedded on the Chapman Loan Program. This used to be the link where the press release video was parked. We've removed that, or moved that, I should say. It's down here now. But this comparison document has proven to be very successful. Again, as we've discussed, we recommend going through the comparison sheet live with an individual, interactive, and then you have a very high likelihood of them enrolling afterwards. However, this is a kind of on-demand version of that presentation. So step one is we want an educated prospect. And then step two is they engage and they enroll. So if you have us set up your landing page, it'll be not exactly like this, but very similar. We would recommend that same approach, because we don't want someone to come enroll and then later say, well, that's not what I thought. Well, what do you mean it's not what you thought? I mean, we ask you first to read the proposal so you understand exactly what we're promising to do. And then we provided a 30-minute training video breaking down what we do and even encouraging them to compare alternatives, other resources. So we don't want any disgruntled clients. So step one is to educate them. Again, this provides on-demand version of that education versus you doing it one-on-one in person or virtually, which is probably better. But if you're going to have a landing page, it would allow the individual to go through it on their own if they wish. So that's the top portion of both the ChapmanLoanProgram.org website and what would be on your replicated site if you want us to provide you one. We have the resources, and so on our page it has our information. On your page it would have your information, so we would get your information from you. So it has your phone number, your email, your address. I think it is important to provide all three of those to the public, and so this is ours. We would substitute our information with yours. I see that Larry has a question, and he's asking, are we charging to develop the landing pages for branches? And the answer is no. The board decided last night to not charge. As long as you're in good standing as a branch, you paid your license fee, then this will be free. It'll be a deliverable we provide. Thank you, Larry, for asking. Okay, so down to grant resources. The first grant resource that we have is a link back to the comparison document. We found such great success on that comparison sheet. So frankly, this is the same link as this. It's redundant just because we really want to encourage people to have seen that. If you're not very familiar with it, I think soon you'll want to come to ChapmanLoanProgram.org and play that yourself. And I think you'll agree it's probably our most valuable resource that we have to help you help clients. All right, the second link is to enroll. And again, it's frankly a duplicate of this. So why do we have it as a duplicate, these two as duplicates? It's just because if someone comes down to grant resources, we don't want these things to not be grant resources. So even though they're also highlighted elsewhere, they're here under this list. Hopefully that makes sense. Third link is to apply for financing offers. And so again, on your replicated page, all of this would be automatically linked to you. So, because remember, in our relationship, essentially it's a branch office. We're doing a 50-50 split with you and we do all the work. So it's a pretty good deal, right? You're making a 50% profit margin and you've essentially outsourced the back office work to our organization, which is great. So any of this would feed into us so we could do the work. Fourth is a link to the daily Zoom webinars. This would not be on your replicated site because it would feed them into this webinar that we're having right now. So instead, if you are having Zoom webinars, we would replace the link to go to your Zoom. If you're not having that, we can just remove that. This is a link to the press release that used to be more highlighted up here. Again, we provide you an editable version of the press release when you come aboard. It's part of your setup. And so then we could link that for you on your landing page. Regardless if you want a landing page or not, we provide you these resources for free as part of your setup. And so you should have an editable version of the press release, just like you should have an editable version of the client agreement, just like you should have an editable version of the comparison sheet, just like you should have an editable version of the proposal. So even if you don't want a landing page, those resources should be available to you now. If you don't have any or all of those, be sure to let us know. And remember, part of our service model, in addition to having these daily group Zooms, is asking each of you to schedule one-on-ones once a week. So hopefully you're doing that. All right, and then this one is a big one, and this was here before. So our primary financial literacy message that we teach, we affectionately call it the 10 mistakes. What that means, it's the 10 mistakes that many entrepreneurs make that keep them from being fundable. So this is an on-demand version. So we're encouraging each of you to go out and teach it in person or online, whatever you want. But with the landing page that we'll provide you, there'll be an on-demand version just for people that just want to go to your site and view it on your own. But again, we should have already provided each of you an editable version of this PowerPoint, so you have it already, so you can be using it. Hopefully you're already using it, even if you don't have a landing page from us. Success stories. And then here we have Kizinja. What a beautiful name. So Kizinja is on the Zoom today and asking about becoming a distribution partner. So Kizinja, this is where you would want to go, is this bottom link under grant resources to become a distribution partner. All right, so what's our goal today? And then we'll open it up for Q&A. Number one, the ChapmanLoanProgram.org website is our resource site. It is now available to you if you wish, almost the same as a replicated site. There's no cost for that. And just reach out to us if you want one. Regardless of that, the key resources that are here you should already have, and probably you should already be using. So if you're not, let us know. But you should have, again, editable version of the proposal, editable version of the comparison sheet, editable version of the client agreement, editable version of the press release, an editable version of the PowerPoint, and so forth. All right, so who has questions, comments, concerns about what we talked about today, or just in general? You know, we have these trainings daily, and so those of you that frequently attend, it's hard not to become redundant, but some of you are new, or some of you kind of come and go, and so it's not that we cover everything that you could possibly need to know every day, but it's certainly important. I mean, what's the most important things that you should know? If you want to be a distribution partner, here's how to do it. If you are a distribution partner, make sure that you're communicating with us so we can support you properly. Because when you become a distribution partner, we send you an onboarding email that has these resources. So you should have them. If you don't have them, it's okay. We can resend them to you. The most important, probably, of those resources is the editable client agreement. So we provide you an editable agreement that you go in and you remove our information, add yours, and you can change client pricing. Once you've done that, you are open for business. Our goal for every one of you is from within one business day of you deciding to work with us, to work together, that you'll in fact then be open for business. And then we can work with you on the process of enrolling clients and so forth. Marvin asked, is this live or recorded? So no sarcasm intended, but of course, since I just read Marvin's question, you can tell that it's live. So we do these live most Mondays through Fridays, 8 o'clock Central. All right, so are any of you either considering becoming a branch and there's information you need, because this is a really good time to ask, or alternatively, any of you who are existing branches, what do you need to know? Our goal for each of our branches is to create daily deposits, and that's kind of the concept we talk about. We want to create daily deposits into your bank account. Thomas Kearns, let's see if Thomas is on here. He's not on this morning. But Thomas Kearns, I think, is who we give credit to, at least, coined every day is payday. So literally every day, if you are a distribution partner, you should be having a bank deposit from our relationship. So this is not too good to be true. It's not winning the lottery. It's not get rich quick, but certainly you would anticipate, and it's very reasonable, every day you have a deposit. Now, what would that deposit be? Remember, you're paid now, and then you're paid after the clients get their capital raise. So as I mentioned, you're in control of the client pricing, but let's just go ahead and go through that. And I think this fits to Celino's question as well. So with the startup program is $5,000. The grant covers half and the participant pays the other half. They pay you the other half, the $2,500. So today you should receive $2,500 from each person that you enroll. How do you enroll them? Using the editable agreement that we've provided you. Now, let's say that they can't or won't pay the $2,500 up front. We recently announced that we have the buy now, pay later lender. We had a whole training session on that. Buy now, pay later lending is probably the hottest topic in finance. Last year, we talked about Affirm, AFFIRM, grew 400%. So a good year for a normal big company is to grow 10%. They grew 400% in this market. So we work with a program called Sweet Pay, that is the buy now, pay later platform. And so if the client wants to enroll through you, but they don't have the $2,500 or they're not willing to pay the $2,500, which again, the other half is covered by the grant, then alternatively, they can pay you a $500 down payment. They pay you, because remember, the goal is for you to get paid daily. So you're not waiting for someone else to pay you. You're not waiting a week or 2 weeks or monthly. You're paid today. So in that scenario, they would pay you $500 for the buy now, pay later. They would still sign the same agreement with you. You would let us know, and then we would send to the client the financing agreement, which we would copy you on, and then they would finance and use the buy now, pay later lender, Sweet Pay. The beautiful thing about the buy now, pay later is it's at 0% interest. So they're not getting punished with high interest cost. So that's all great. Now, the downside then is you're not paid for the balance of their enrollment fee for 30 days. So, and we're not either. It's not like someone's sitting on your money. So you're pushed back 30 days of getting paid the rest of that. So upfront enrollment fee, the norm is it's $5,000, grant covers half, participant pays the other half. So that's $2,500 going in your pocket today. Or they pay $500 down to you, which goes into your pocket today, and then we set up the buy now, pay later. Separate from that, if you want, you can add a performance fee, and that is subject to how you want to edit your editable agreement that we provide you. The performance fee is like a success fee. It's a fee paid by the client to you, not to us, to you, after they receive funding. So let's just use an example. We've got Jenny on here. So let's say Jenny signs up Ernest. And Ernest, I've been trying to track you down. I'd love to talk to you today, Ernest. But so let's say Jenny signs up Ernest. So Ernest then gets $250,000 by going through the process. Let's say that Jenny decided that Ernest was going to pay 10% performance fee. Now, Ernest, the client, would know, of course, when they enroll. So then Ernest would pay Jenny $25,000, 10% of that after the capital raise. So as a distribution partner, you're paid at the time the client enrolls, and then you're also paid, if you wish, after their capital raise. Let's say that Ernest, and Ernest is the one we talked about a few, probably a week or so ago, he wants to get real estate, large apartment complexes. So let's say that Ernest's first tranche is $250,000, which is great. So let's say that's working capital. So again, Jenny would get $25,000 performance fee. But then Ernest goes on and gets a $5 million financing for a big apartment complex. Jenny would get 10% of that 5 million. So we call it tranche, you could call it rounds or what have you. Each round or each tranche of capital, Jenny, or in this case, you, the distribution partner, if you choose to add it, would get a performance fee. So there's a lot we can go through individually, but the most important things I wanted to accomplish today is, first of all, encourage you. If you've not spent some time on chapmanloanprogram.org, the grant resource site, you should, because it explains and provides the different tools that we provide to you for free as a distribution partner, again, such as the proposal, such as the comparison document, which is here, such as the client agreement, such as the press release, such as the PowerPoint. And then second goal of today is to make sure that you know that as of last night, the decision from the board was that we'll provide each of you a landing page that will look like this. It'll be customized to you. It'll be very similar, it won't be exactly the same. And as Larry asked, there's no cost. It's just you obviously need to be one of our distribution partners. So that's criteria number one. You need to be in good standing, number two. And you would have paid the license fee, of course. So that way we can afford to pay our team to build this out for you. But you don't have to have this if you don't want. All right, who else has questions, comments, concerns? Sometimes you have some questions like Ken that's probably best suited for one-on-one discussion. So make sure, please, that each of you are scheduling our one-on-ones. Of course, you can call in, but it's difficult. Some of you like to call us on the fly, so it's really difficult because we have a lot of scheduled calls. But certainly, you should have our Calendly link. And if you don't have it, email us, and that way we're able to go through questions, comments, concerns, and make sure that we're on the same page. All right, looks like Ernest does have a question. So yes, we do have a promotion that if you refer in a distribution partner, we'll pay you $250, which isn't a big deal, but we're needing more educators. We need more people to go out and teach and help small businesses. So if you will refer in distribution partners, then you will get paid $250 each time that you do. All right, well, I think we've covered it. Let us know if there's anything that we can do. Again, chapmanloanprogram.org is a very useful resource site. If you want a replicated copy of this, let us know. Just simply email us and we can get that set up for you. And regardless of that, you should have these different tools and resources that we've talked about. They should have been emailed to you. If you don't have those, please reach out to us ASAP. Thanks, everyone. See you back tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.